look, we each week over this past little period, we've had pretty much, if we look at last week's game, the score at half time and where we are in the contest, and then we have little moments where, I suppose, a bit of confidence, a bit of mental, I suppose, toughness, I suppose, where we just become fragile, where, we're even the start of the end we're losing, and when we had that sort of good 10-week block of footy, we'll find ways to stop tries, I suppose, if you like, and we're coming up with plays. Today in the first half we missed two great opportunities to score, and we didn't take them, and then on the back of that, 8-6 at half time, we feel that's not a bad result, to come in here rookie against Manly 8-6, and you're feeling good, and the game becomes an arm wrestle in the second half, and we're going as good as Manly in the early exchanges. It's roughly 50-50, and then when we go pear-shaped, we have a little period where we just don't go well at all, and whether there's a bit of confidence, lack of it, I suppose, or a bit of mental part of it, that's within the two. I think there's something in there, Baz. Even at 24-6, we weren't going to win the game, but Connor goes through, and whether Connor or KP, one of them should score, and we don't, and then off the back of it, what happens then is, and we're just not really recovering from real adversity at the moment I suppose in that sort of period in the second half, Same thing happened against the Roosters as well, where we were in a contest for a while against a good side, like today, and, whether we're 50-50 with them or reasonably close, when it goes, it's really going on us, and that's what wasn't there, and we've just got to look to find that back.
You were at 8-6 at half time. Given Manly went 90 minutes with Melbourne a week before, did you think it could be vulnerable in that second half?
Look, I was more concerned about what we needed to, not where Manly may have been at. Manly's playing some good footy, and they're high quality players, so you've got to always be on your guard. And today, as I said, when we had one moment in defence that wasn't good, we backed it up with two other bad moments, and Cherry and Jake and Tommy, they're two good players for that. The hookers are both good players, and we need to find some way that if things go against us, whether we don't take a chance, whether defensively we have a little bad period, we've got to find ways to solve problems, and at the moment we're not solving any problems at all, because even the best of the sides at times with their defence have some issues, but they find out ways to solve it. And at the moment, in first halves of games, we're obviously doing pretty well, and early parts of second halves, but we're just having little windows of footy where it's just not to the standard it needs to be if you want to be a top 8 side or you want to win contests.
Randy, the general feeling coming in today that the win kept the finals hopes alive. Is that how you see it? Are the finals hopes?
Oh, look, they're not dead, but you look at how we're playing, that's the key for me, I don't revert to the start of the year, but the start of the year when you're doing what we were with our defence, things are going to around the corner. At the moment, we're searching for a win, obviously, for the table, but we're searching for a good performance for, a little bit of confidence, I suppose. But, as I said, there's a little bit of it being confidence, a little bit being mental as well, So, it's, we've sort of put ourselves in a great spot. We did have, and we just haven't clearly been quite good enough to capitalise on what we did in the first sort of two-thirds of the year at the moment. On current form, I would have thought you could probably answer that question yourself, where we sit at the moment. On periods of games, I'd say, again today, as I said, 8-6 at half time, we were right there, and the early exchange to the second half was give and take, but when it happens for us, it just doesn't happen well, and whether that affected our attack a bit today, a bit of lack of confidence, but as I said, we had two golden opportunities in the first half. We didn't take them, and anything they had, Cherry created or whatever they created, they just scratched it with both hands, and we're not going well enough at the moment to recover from any adversity at the moment in that sort of second period.
Granny, what's happening now comparable to the start of the season, or is it perhaps more worrying because it's not close games?
No, it's not close games. It's not comparable at all anyway. We had a lot of resolve, for two-thirds of the year, whether we're winning or losing. There was a heap of resolve, and there was a lot of confidence about what our defence was doing. We're at the moment, and as I said, a little bit of it's definitely confidence, but a little bit of it's mental as well. So, we've got some things go wrong for some players, and if one thing goes wrong, 2 and 3 go wrong. It's not one thing goes wrong and we all work hard together and solve it. It's capitulating a little bit. and that's, it's up to the group to help solve the problem for a mate. And if it goes bad, it goes real bad, and then that's not helping anyone at the minute.
What have you made of Mitch's, I guess, Origin 3 when he came back from that, man?
Oh, look, Piercy's tried hard today. Was he at his best? He'd probably say he wasn't at his best. But we need other people to help solve problems too, not just Piercy. And obviously, Kalen come up with a beautiful try, and Kalen created a chance. We kicked for a good opportunity, and when we're not taking them, we're not playing well enough not to take those chances. So we need more than just to rely on Mitch. Is he where he was before Origin? He'd probably say no, but we need other people to help release a little bit of pressure there, and it's not on any one person, but when things aren't going good for Piercy, if it is a bad kick he has, or Mason has a bad kick on 2 7 tackle sets they scored, and that's up to the team to solve that problem. Your kickers can't kick every kick good. Do we want them to kick better than they did today in good ball? Sure we do. We had 2 good ball kicks in the second half when the first one was when the score was 8-6 and we come up with a 7 tackle set, but is that great? No, but you've got to defend it and resolve it a little bit better, and that helps your halves get back into the game. You don't want your halves always having to play chasing football in the second half, and at the moment we're doing that a little bit.
Randy, you addressed yesterday Jesse Ramey. I take it you're not going to use that as an excuse.
No, that's
just on the headlines.
Look, in today's game, it's very, very different to back in the day. The player market and people move, and it's very transient in rugby league today. And back in my day, for whatever reason, things happened with players. Everyone just did what they did, and your contract was played out. Today's game is, whether it be a coach's call, a player's call, an agent's call, whatever it is, there's lots of reasons why players move and change clubs today. And players, when you're going well and you got, your culture is strong, players just get on with it. That's the way it is. You certainly don't see the better clubs use player movement as a mid-year or whatever time of the year it may be as a reason not to play decent footy. So it certainly had no bearing on our result today.
Brandon, do you feel like there's something early in the season there when you went and had that losing run, it just looked like you flicked the switch and all of a sudden you were playing well? Is this something that you can fix in a week?
Oh, look, Baz, I'd like to look at the game again, but what we need to do is we need to, as a group, find that little bit of something when things go against us. And, and if we can find that little bit and put ourselves, in a better spot because of our defence, it'll take some pressure off some other parts of the game. And, obviously if we create chances like we did the couple in the first half today, you've got to try and take them, especially against the better teams. Next week we've got Parramatta is obviously playing some good footy in a reasonable position on the ladder. So the only time you create something that's a good opportunity, we've got to try and turn that into points. But if we don't, we've got to find that bit of resolve. And I've seen sides turn around in a week before. I've seen much worse losses be turned around in a week, but you certainly can't sit on your hands and just sit there and say it's going to happen. We've got to work hard at training, look at our video review, and just get out there and get the job done, probably rather than talk about it too much. Oh, look, we had to make those changes. There was, we had to see some sort of change, and obviously the changes didn't really change the resolve of the team today in periods of the game, obviously, but we had to do something about what was happening more for the base of our defence with where we had been, and we made a statement or two early in the year with some selections around our defence, and it certainly put us in a reasonable spot. But this past month of footy seems like that 10 weeks ago was a long, long time ago, and as I said, we, as a group, the players and staff, everyone worked so hard to put the club in such a strong position 4 weeks ago, and now it appears like that was a long, long time ago. Losing is a lonely thing, isn't it?
No injuries, Brandon? No injuries?
Oh, we've got a couple of bumps there. I'm not too sure how Kurt is. When he slipped over, he hurt his knee a little bit. I'm not too sure to what extent, though.